students, this is video 6. We will be continuing with the community, that is the health programs. So already we have dealt with various health programs. I hope you have gone through the classes. Okay, so now today we will start with acute respiratory infection control program. Okay, so when we see the introduction, this was recognized as a leading cause of mortality among children in most developing countries. So as you know that India is also developing country. So it was found ARI became one of the leading cause of death among children. So what could be the main reason? Poverty, overcrowding, air pollution, malnutrition, harmful traditional practices and delayed and inappropriate case management are reasons of high case fatality rates from such infection. So commonly we know ARI, what could be the various causes, it's the same. Okay, so in mid 1980s was when WHO decided that they will initiate a control program for ARI. Till then they did not take any kind of action that focused on cases managed by health workers. So where health workers itself would be able to manage or control the mortality rate that was caused because of ARI. So simple case management producers have been designed for diagnosis and treatment of such infections and situations without any laboratory or radiological facility. So without any radiological or laboratory test as such, with the symptoms itself, they were given treatment, they were diagnosed and treatment was given. So United Nations Children's Fund set a target of 33% reduction in child death caused by ARI by the year 2000. So United Nations Children's Fund, they set a target telling that all the ARI deaths that is happening in the children should be reduced for about 33% by the end of 2000. Okay. Next, burden of disease. So we will see how much of the cases that were prevalent. So if we see in 2016, lower respiratory infection. Okay. So in lower respiratory, it caused about 6,525,072 deaths and then 95% uncertainty interval. Okay, so we see which was ranging from 5,864,75 to 7,206,12 in children younger than 5 years, that mostly with under 5. Then we also see that there are about 10,809,58 deaths. Okay, and in adults also we find certain cases like 9,437, 49 cases in adults older than 70 years it was found. So it was affecting even the adults as well as the younger children and older children. Okay, and 2,377,697 deaths were reported in all people of all ages worldwide. So you can see that in the notes. Okay, so many cases was there. So if you don't, if you don't remember everything, you can write this. About 2.5 million children die each year in India, 1/5 due to acute lower respiratory tract infection. Among 2.5 million children who die, so 1/5 of that children die because of acute lower respiratory tract infection. And ARI accounts for 17 to 25% of all deaths in under 5s and acute respiratory tract mortality is about 27 per 1,000 in rural India. It has been estimated that about 20 to 40% of all outpatient visits and 12% to 35% of indoor admissions are due to acute respiratory tract infections. So just remember, if you can't remember the first paragraph, you can just tell that 2.5 cases of death, out of which 1/5 of them are affected, death or mortality is caused because of acute lower respiratory infection. And then ARI, it accounts to 17 to 25% of all the death in under 5, and ARI mortality is about 27 per 1,000 in rural India. Okay, it has been estimated that 20 to 40% of all outpatient visits and 12 to 35% of indoor admissions are due to acute respiratory tract infection. Just remember the second paragraph under the burden of disease. Next we will go to risk factors and determinants of acute respiratory infections. So already we have seen, right? So it is poor socio-economic factors, low level of literacy, suboptimal breastfeeding, not feeding appropriately because breast milk itself has got major immunoglobulins which will be resistant to all this respiratory tract infection which the baby can develop. Low level of literacy, they don't know, that it is communicable or it is going to cause death. It can become, in severe cases it can lead to lower respiratory tract infection leading to pneumonia and death of the child. So no adequate knowledge regarding that, malnutrition, unsatisfactory level of immunization coverage, not providing the immunization, then cooking fuel used other than liquefied petroleum gas as risk factors, because cooking fuel, again, the smoke, it can lead to respiratory infection, which are all the contributing factors of increasing burden of acute respiratory tract infection among children. Okay, next we'll go to acute respiratory disease control program. So this control program in India was started in the year 1990. It sought to introduce scientific protocols for case management of pneumonia with cotrimoxazole. So this drug was used in order to treat pneumonia. Then since 1992 the program was implemented as part of CSSM and later with RCH. Okay, so this drug which was given, cotrimoxazole tablets, are supplied as part of drug kit for use by different category of workers for managing cases of pneumonia. So this drug was given to the health workers, so when they used to visit, okay, so children were treated with this so they can keep away from pneumonia. Then under RCH, two activities are proposed to be, reproductive child health activities are proposed to be implemented in an integrated way with other child health interventions. So they also carried out certain interventions along with the RCH. Okay, they also carried out certain interventions in order to maintain the health of the children. Then objective. So mainly we know any program, the objective is to reduce the morbidity or mortality rate. So here the objective was to reduce mortality rate in children due to acute respiratory infection by 20% by 1995 and 40% by the year 2000. So what were the various strategies? What all did they do? To ensure standard case management of pneumonia in children under 5 years by training medical and other health personnel. So they started training other health personnel to train peripheral health staff to recognize and treat cases of pneumonia. So we have to train the peripheral, okay, the other health staffs to recognize and they would be able to treat cases of pneumonia. So pneumonia is not very easy disease, right? Even in COVID-19, when it affects the lungs, when it leads to pneumonia is when the patients are connected to the ventilator and the survival rate becomes very less. So that's why we see that there were many deaths that was caused, right? Even in abroad countries, they ran out of these ventilators and thereby they were not able to provide, adequate care for the patients and there were increased death rate. Okay, so to promote timely referral to severe pneumonia by the peripheral health staff and community. So when they know that the child has developed severe, okay, or the adult has developed severe pneumonia, then they have to be referred, okay, to the hospital with good facility. Next, to improve maternal knowledge about home management of cough and cold and recognition of early danger signs for seeking appropriate care. So these acute respiratory tract infections actually can be treated at home. So we can teach them home management, but when the symptoms become severe or if the child has got severe, phlegm, difficulty in breathing, then mother also should be taught to bring to the hospital for the necessary treatment. To promote immunization, exclusive breastfeeding in the first 4 to 6 months, proper weaning and vitamin A administration. So also this was concentrated along with the ARI prevention, immunization, breastfeeding, then proper weaning of food, vitamin A administration. So all this also had its vital role in controlling of acute respiratory tract infection. Next we will see prevention and control of respiratory infection. So what are the various prevention and what are the various control measures that were taken for respiratory infection? So breastfeeding, hand washing, indoor air pollution from solid biomass fuel. So these are the 3 control and preventive measures. So as we know, breastfeeding in developing countries, children who are exclusively breastfed for 6 months and 30 to 42% lower incidence of acute respiratory infection compared to children who did not receive for same duration of breastfeeding. So breastfeeding is included under one of the life-saving tool in prevention of various childhood illnesses Hence, breastfeeding is among the WHO or UNICEF Global Action Plan to stop pneumonia. In addition, hand washing, improved nutrition and reduction of indoor air pollution are suggested as primary strategies to protect from pneumonia among children under 5 years of age. So when they did a comparison between exclusively breastfed children and children who were not breastfed for about 4 to 6 months only with breast milk, they found out that there was about 30 to 42% of lower incidence of occurrence of acute respiratory tract infection. But then the other children were severely affected, not only with ARI, but they also had various other ailments also. So that's the reason WHO and UNICEF, they have emphasized on this breastfeeding. So they also have given about hand washing. So hand washing reduces the incidence of respiratory infection by 24%, ranging from 6 to 44%. So about ranges till 44% of prevention. So that's what now we are doing, right, for COVID, hand washing, okay, and then indoor air pollution. So social distancing and staying locked down, you stay at home, right, for COVID. But here indoor, when we say air pollution, because when they don't go, so usually this acute respiratory tract infection occurrence will be more among children who have got dust allergy or deviated nasal septum. So in these cases they will be more prone. So when they avoid traveling outside much and remain indoor, so they are also free from air pollution. So exposure to indoor air pollution has 2.3 times increased risk of respiratory infection, especially lower respiratory tract infection. Upper is quite easily treated and fast curable when compared to lower respiratory tract infection. Hence, use of cleaner fuels or improvised stoves has improved to the cost-effective interventions to reduce incidence of indoor air pollution. So that's why we have cleaner fuel which can be used for cooking, or they can have improvised stoves. So gas stoves we have. So basically when you see if they use this coal or if they are using this wood for burning and all, it causes again smoke which can lead to allergy, okay, dust allergy leading to acute respiratory infection. So prevention of any kind of air pollution or the smoke exposure should be decreased. So these are the preventive and control measures for respiratory infection. Next we will see what are the various vaccines that are used to control this respiratory tract infection. So usually we give vaccine against pertussis, measles, vaccine against Haemophilus influenza, pneumococcal vaccines, MMR and chickenpox vaccine. So talking about vaccines, again pertussis, National Immunization Schedule introduces diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. Okay, so they give DPT booster at 5 years of age instead of diphtheria and tetanus, and raising the upper limit age of DPT vaccine to 7 years of age. So now they have extended from 5 years to 7 years where they are giving this DPT. So you have for diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. Okay, so at 5 years, instead of only giving diphtheria and tetanus, they are giving DPT as booster dose, and the upper age limit has been extended from 5 to 7 years of age. Then measles. So the recent multi-year strategic plan of India gives an opportunity for Indian children to receive the second dose of measles vaccine. According to this plan, measles, mumps and rubella MMR at 15 to 18 months they are giving. Okay, so measles, that is, it is also given along with other like mumps and rubella. So it is given as MMR vaccine at the age of 15 to 18 months. Okay, so that is almost 1.5 years. Then vaccine against Haemophilus influenza. This plays an important role in controlling the ARI and the influenza. So a vaccine against H influenza, immediate candidate to be included in National Immunization Schedule. More than 95% Haemophilus influenza infections occur only among children. According to the recent estimates, influenza contributes to annual burden of 8.13 million serious illnesses and 3,71,000 deaths worldwide. This vaccine not only protects against severe pneumonia but also prevents the colonization, thereby helping in prevention of disease transmission. So this vaccine, it not only reduces the death rate, okay, but then it also prevents colonization, further complication. It helps in further prevention of the disease. So according to recent estimate, we have seen that about 8.13 million cases were actually reported with illnesses, and death was about 3,71,000 deaths has been reported so far. So that has to be taken into account. So this vaccine Haemophilus plays an important role in prevention of the disease. The pneumococcal vaccine infection alone contribute to 11% of all death among. So the pneumococcal infection itself, they contribute about 11% children under 5 age. So this vaccine has to be given. Then MMR and chickenpox vaccine are also given. Already we have seen MMR is given at the age of 15 to 18 months. So secondary pneumonia due to exanthematous illnesses like measles and chickenpox are next common cause for ARI among children. So all these diseases, when we deal about DPT, okay, MMR, all these can also lead to respiratory tract infection. That's why all these vaccines, they play an vital role. So it is recommended with emphasis on high coverage. Adults who are at risk of contracting varicella or advised to get vaccinated within 48 hours of exposure if they have been exposed to any other cases. So it is good that they also go and get vaccinated within 48 hours. Okay, so with this we have done with acute respiratory infection control program. Okay, so we will continue in the other videos.